chapter. We talked about that earlier when we were going over the Rate Your Chapter form, that many of you identified you a great leadership team. And that says so much about how well the chapter works, is how good the leadership team is. We want to make sure we have good quality people always in the leadership team. The purpose of the leadership team is to create and enact the vision for the chapter. Their job is to steer the ship. What some leaders often get into the problem of is they do too much of the work themselves, and they have to engage the other people in the chapter. So on your sheets, we've got a leadership team selection schedule. And the one thing I'll say about it is you're going to have leadership team selection coming up soon. We're already talking about leadership team selection with our chapters right now. Even though they just took over in April, they're getting done in the end of September. They need to be thinking about who is an effective leader. So the one thing I'll point out is attitude, attitude, attitude. It's all about having a positive attitude if you're going to be on the leadership team. It doesn't matter what position you're in. If you want to write these down, I'll share these with you just because I'm not involved in the leadership team training. I've boiled down each one of the leadership team positions to 2 words. The secretary-treasurer of the chapter, their job, they're in charge of chapter solvency. Chapter solvency. They have to be good with books. They need to be good at record keeping. They have to be able to send reports in a timely manner. I had one chapter that had 35 members. Our system showed they had 19 members because the secretary-treasurer did not send anything in. Oh, by the way, he lost people's credit card information and lost their checks, and they were very upset. And it had a major negative impact on the chapter. So the secretary-treasurer is an extremely important role. Chapter solvency is their main role in the chapter. The vice president, their 2-word job is to facilitate conversations. That's all they do. They're not the enforcer. They're not the bad guy. Their job is to facilitate conversations within the membership committee. Facilitate conversations among members related to participation in the chapter. Having conversations. That's what success in BNI really is. It's how to have good quality conversations with people. The president, their 2-word description is oversee everything. The buck stops there. They don't necessarily have to be doing a lot of the work, and hopefully they're not. Hopefully they're delegating the heck out of their responsibilities. But they are ultimately responsible. If something goes on in the membership committee, they need to be able to be proactive and communicate with the director or director consultant about what's going on in the chapter. It's extremely important. So chapter solvency, facilitating conversations, and overseeing everything. That's what the leadership team does. And it's important to have high integrity people, quality people on the leadership team that members ultimately can trust. The leadership team of the chapter has to work through a VCP process with the members. Some members will test the leadership team members. And the leadership team members need to pass that test. If they pass the test, they can move up the curve. And then we start to see better activity in chapter, more growth in the chapter, more visitors, more referrals, all of that stuff. There are other jobs in the chapter, in addition to just the leadership team members. We've got the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. The most effective chapters have active and visible people in all of the roles. Visitor host, membership committee, education coordinator. But there's other ones too. What about mentor coordinator, event coordinator, timer? We've got some people in chapters that are actually a name badge coordinator. So they stand by the door. Their job is to, as members walk in, to make sure that they have those name badges on so that people can identify them. So they've got either the spare gray name badges or they're working with the visitor host, making sure everybody has a name badge. We've got announcement coordinators in chapters. So rather than people doing second commercials for their business at the end of a meeting, the announcement coordinator makes sure that the announcements are related to networking, and more importantly, they're an agent for the president to make sure that the meeting ends on time. There's all sorts of these different things that people can do in the chapter. The nice thing when you get more people involved in a chapter whether it's on the leadership team or in some sort of support position, is that you increase the depth of your bench. You always have people that you can go to if you need to get something done, whether it's formally to fill a leadership team role or it's informally. You just need to get something done in the chapter. You've got people that you can go to. So the more activity you have within the membership, the deeper your bench is, the greater success you can have. Questions on or comments on leadership team? Okay. All right. Turn to page 18, if you would. We're going to do a little exercise. Who's seen the big board presentation before? You've must have seen the big board presentation. If you've been to leadership team training, you've seen this before. The concept with the big board is really, how do you achieve this vision? That's really what it's about. It's not necessarily how do you get people to be more specific. That's a mechanism. That's one of the things that you do. It's not about limiting what people are representing or making it easy for your membership committee. It's about how you can create this in your chapter. This is one way to change the mindset of the members in a chapter related to what you're representing. What we found is in BNI, the more specific somebody is in their business, the more referrals they receive. So there's I think, misunderstanding. People think that we want people to be specific so that you can get more categories in your chapter. And sure, that's fine. Really what it's about is how referable are you? The more specific you are in what you do, the easier it is for you to refer business to you, the easier it is for you to get a piece of that $2.5 million per chapter. So looking at the big board, the concept is we've got all these industries out there, these larger industries. We have a couple choices in BNI. We can either have people represent an entire industry. So there's one person in banking, one person who's a banker, and they represent everything that a bank can offer. There's one person in real estate, and they represent everything in real estate. Same thing with automotive. Same thing with law. So if we had 12 different industries in a chapter, how many members would we have in the chapter? 12. Yeah. What the vision talks about is having 40 members per chapter. Really, that number doesn't matter. I know some people might get upset if I say you don't need to grow your chapter to grow your chapter, but it's really not about the size of your chapter. It's about how much closed business you can generate. If you're generating with 12 people $3 million of closed business, that's better than having 40 people and generating $2 million of closed business. Would you agree? Yes. What we found, though, is you need to get to those numbers in order to produce the closed business that you want. And a way to do that is to get people to be very specific in what they represent in the chapter. So one, they can communicate better, and two, they can better find symbiotic relationships with other people in that industry. Develop better relationships and pass referrals back and forth. Give you an example. We have in a chapter that I support, there's a property casualty insurance agent. He's one of the founding members of the chapter. His focus is more on commercial insurance. He does a lot of work. He's actually working on a workers' compensation certification. He does a lot of work with nonprofit boards and getting liability insurance for them. Does a ton of commercial insurance. The membership committee approached him and said, would you be willing to just focus on commercial insurance? We'd like to bring somebody in. If you're willing to do that, we'd like to bring somebody in who specializes in home and auto insurance. He said, sort of begrudgingly, yes. So that person came in and checked. Who do you think the #1 referral source is for that commercial insurance agent? The home and auto guy. Because one reason is, well, they're both named Jake, which is kind of fun. You know, two Jakes doing insurance. The home and auto guy only can do personal lines. He's a company that only represents personal lines in life. So if he gets a commercial, somebody needs commercial insurance, he refers it over to the other guy. And so this guy, every time I've been there, the home and auto guy has passed the commercial insurance guy a referral. Every time. And it's always been one, oh, you've already talked to this person, here's your referral So it's really cool to see when members are perceived as being competitors, when they can find ways to work together. So what we're going to do is I'm going to break you up into 4 teams.
Yes.
Break you up into 4 teams. Thank you, Donna.